Hey everyone, and thanks for tapping into Constant Cadence with Matt. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Rolex, and specifically I'm going to talk about my quest for the Rolex Submariner. To me, what is the quintessential watch, if you will. I just love the classic look. I love the date complication on this. I know some people prefer the Submariner rather than the Submariner date. So the base Submariner model does not include a date complication, and people like the symmetry, etc., of the dial. In that case, I prefer date. I think it's really practical, and it's something that I wanted. The Submariner, which I've had for about a year and a half now, was not my first Rolex. I actually purchased probably my first real watch purchase, real automatic anyway, was in 2001. I purchased a Datejust, and it was two-tone. It had Arabic numerals, a slate dial, really cool watch. Back then you didn't really have to break the bank to get one of those, and precious metals weren't such a big deal. But I love that watch. I wore it every day, literally every day. It didn't matter what I was doing, I would wear it. It really took some abuse, but I did have it serviced, and they replaced everything, and it was kind of as new when I serviced it in 2014, I think. So I was a little bit more careful with it then, but I started to get a little bit more into watches and realized 36 millimeters does not look that great on my 8-inch wrist. I'm 6'3", so I decided, what is like my grail at this point, and I decided the Submariner was really my grail, and so I sold the Datejust. It just wasn't working for me anymore, and I made a little money on it, which is great, and set my sights on getting the Rolex Submariner, and it was a little bit of a journey because, unlike when I got my Datejust, you could just walk in and purchase a Rolex, no problem. But now you can't do that. You have to find an AD that you get along with, and that you want to spend your money with. And so, I really decided to. I also wanted an Omega Aquaterra, and I decided, well, if I'm going to buy an Aquaterra, I should use that as an opportunity to start a relationship with an AD locally, and I did. I used Lankersdorfer here in Tysons Corner, Virginia, and Brandon Lillenquist, a great guy. All the salespeople there are great. I'll put up a slide on them later, but I used the purchase of the Aquaterra, which I've reviewed previously, to build a relationship with the AD, get to know them, and help them to get to know me. And I think that contributed to me getting allocated this Submariner. One other thing before we get into the review is I just wanted to point out this book by Nicholas Folks. It is endorsed by Rolex, and it's called Oyster Perpetual Submariner: The Watch That Unlocked the Deep. And this book has everything you could ever want to know about not only the Submariner, but in my opinion, anything you would want to know about creating a watch. And this was a very revolutionary watch at a time where dive watches were really starting to explode. They collaborated with the British military, the Navy in particular. This book highlights all of that and the iterative process that is watchmaking. The case is just amazing. The movement has a lot of innovation built into it, and pretty much everything else about the watch. So I'll get into that a little bit as we take a look at it, but let's get into the review, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll catch up with you afterwards. So let's take a look at it. Here it is. I just think it looks fantastic. As I mentioned, I got the 126610LN with date, 41 millimeters, 300 meter water resistance, triple lock crown, all kinds of other innovations in terms of waterproofing. I think this watch just looks stunning. Yes, it's a dive watch. Yes, it's supposed to be a tool, but I think it's just really elegant looking. You can see the re-hot markings with Rolex and the crown. There is a lot of print on the dial, but I think that's okay. I think it works in this case. They do have some certs and things that they want to talk about, and they want to make sure you know about the movement and the case and everything else. You can see the clasp here just looks really great. I'll zoom in there. It's just such a fantastic bracelet on top of it. Getting into some macro work here, but really just an awesome watch. And looking at it again, just from scratch, the crown is so crisp and screws down nicely. You can tell that it's sort of waterproof when you're snugging it down. And again, the crown does have the logo on it. The finishing work, this just rests so nicely on the wrist. I love wearing it. It's a little heavy, but it's thin. You can certainly wear it under the cuff, and the machining for this oyster bracelet just makes everything move so smoothly and so solidly that it feels great on your wrist. And it's got the adjustment system. I think it's called glide lock, but it's really great and gives you exactly what you need to adjust this to fit your wrist perfectly. So the watch, it just looks great. I love the ceramic bezel, and I think I do a bezel twist here soon, and be quiet for most of this. It's just like butter. It's just so great. And everything is just such tight tolerances. The way that the clasp has that sort of spring-loaded nib at the end that kind of holds on to the receiver. It's really great. And then the locking mechanism has the Rolex crown on it, and you can see it just slides smoothly. All those links articulate so well because they're machined so well. It is just a great feeling watch, and it's really a pleasure to wear, and it makes you feel like you're wearing something special. I did want to mention the authorized dealer that I used, Lankersdorfer, here in Tysons Corner, Virginia. They have a wide variety of brands, as you can see here in this slide. And Brandon Lillenquist, Paul is another one of the sales reps I've worked with. They're just great. It's a really nice shop. I think they may be looking into separating the Rolex portion, and then they'll have other brands in a new building or new space next door, things like Zenith and all the brands you see here. So highly recommend them, and want to thank Lankersdorfer for helping me realize my grail. So there you have it, my journey towards getting a Rolex Submariner, which is currently, I'd say, if not my grail, it's right up there. I also reviewed my IWC Engineer, which is just an amazing watch and a real pleasure to wear, similar to the Submariner. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and I've got a couple of new things to review coming up in the future, specifically the Zen 856, a special edition, and then also the Mito Ocean Star GMT, great watches. And then I've got a new wild card coming up in the near future, which I think is just a great watch and a great brand and a really good value. So keep an eye out on the channel. I've got new stuff coming soon after a little break here. So So thanks again for tapping into Constant Cadence with Matt. Hope you have a great day, a great week, and I hope your dial makes you smile.